Today we're talking about the Colombian Exchange. Now this was the exchange of plants, animals, and diseases from the Old World, which is Europe, to the New World, which is the Americas, both North and South America. Now during this time, these explorers settled on their ships and they found many new lands. And one of the new lands they found was the Americas. On this new land, they not only discovered a new group of people, but they discovered new foods and plants and diseases and animals as well. And so the three main things that were traded, once again, are plants, animals, and diseases. Diseases are important because this is what helps to wipe out the native population in the New World. The Native Americans living in the New World are not used to the diseases from the Old World. An easy way to remember these three things is DAP. D, diseases, A, animals, and P, plants. You can also add an S at the end and make it DAPS. That S would be slaves. This is important as later on the slave trade is also part of the Colombian Exchange. Right here we have two maps, one of the Western Hemisphere or the New World and one of the Eastern Hemisphere or the Old World. Now right here are a list of some of the goods that came from the New World. For example, potatoes. They are not native to the Old World or to Europe. They come from the Americas. Same thing with beans and peanuts and so on and so forth you see from this list. These goods are known all around the world today, but during this time, they were not known to the whole world. These were new things to people in Europe. Over here in the Old World, the same can be said. Things like horses, pigs, and cows were not native to the Americas. So today, when we think of cowboys, we think of a guy that rides around on the horse. Well, this image wouldn't have been possible had it not been for the Europeans coming over and bringing over the horse and introducing it to the Americas. This list includes plants, animals, and even diseases. Again, these diseases help to wipe out the native population. At first, these Europeans used Native Americans as slaves, but since the population were dying from diseases, they then had to turn to Africans as forced labor. Here are some of the effects of the Colombian Exchange. 1. New economic activities began. Trade was growing. People were figuring out how they could make the most money and trying to get all that money. New national cuisines. Now, since new foods were introduced, now these two worlds can cook new types of dishes. Example, now both worlds can use tomatoes to make new types of foods which I've never thought of or had before. Diseases brought to the Americas wiped out the populations. Once again, these diseases changed the course of history. And the introduction of the horse. The horse was introduced to the Americas. This is not a native thing for the Americas. The Europeans had horses and they brought them over. Same thing with pigs and cows. All these things come together to create a new type of economic policy. The whole thing with the Colombian Exchange, these animals and plants being traded back and forth across the Atlantic, it all comes together and they create this new idea called mercantilism, which will be discussed in the next video. This is it for the Colombian Exchange.